Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's live broadcast of Michigan hockey. My name is Morris Fabry. Alongside me is Leo Blavin, and today the Wolverines start the final series of their regular season against the number 14 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. The Wolverines come into this one having lost 3 straight, pretty much secure in their NCAA tournament bid postseason. But Leo, what does this game really mean to the Michigan Wolverines?
Well, it's a chance to get back on track. An embarrassing sweep to their arch rival, Ohio State Buckeyes, a weekend ago, and a Friday-Sunday home and away split. Now they get the 14th ranked team in the nation, the Nittany Lions, coming to Yost Ice Arena. Senior night tomorrow, but tonight, the last start of a Big Ten series that we will have this entire season prior to the Big Ten tournament next weekend in Minneapolis. A chance to get back on track, try to pick up 2 crucial wins that would greatly improve Michigan's pairwise strength and perhaps get them closer to one of those top 4 spots that aren't completely out of the question yet, but it simply just winning, getting back on track after an embarrassing last weekend is what Michigan's hoping to get out of this against a very feisty Nittany Lions squad.
Michigan going left to right in front of us. The puck is dropped, fought for, and won by Tyler Mott as he heads into the Penn State zone. Loses the puck, though, as Kevin Kerr whacks it forward to David Goodwin. His pass intercepted by Downing. Now Connor plays it forward. Entering the zone is DeYoung, but he is dispossessed. The puck falls to Downing at center ice, and he slaps it into the Penn State zone. Puck goes around the boards to the far side to Luke Uhai. He plays it ahead to David Goodwin. Up the right side with the puck is Alec Marsh. Goodwin laid out into the boards, and now Tyler Mott with the puck going the other way across center ice. Dumps it into the zone, and it is gloved by Penn State goalie Matthew Scuff.
Michael Downing absolutely setting the tone here early on, and vicious check right in front of the Michigan bench that will really make this game more physical to start than we're used to seeing. Michigan, it is no patience right now to find their footing. They're just looking to hit somebody.
Cooper Marody facing off against Ricky DeRosa in the right attacking circle. Face-off still tied up at that circle. Finally won by Eric Audio. He's dispossessed, though, as Marody plays it back behind the net. It's whacked around to the near corner. Marody tied up in that corner. Puck sent back toward the point. Boca slaps it back into the zone. Marody picks up to the puck, but it falls back to Boca. Tries a shot, blocked aside. Back behind the net, it goes to Marody. Marody looking for an option, finds Werenski at the left point. Back over to Marody, skating toward the middle. Fires a shot, looks for a deflection, gets one, but it bounces behind the net. Eric Audio skates onto the puck, plays it up the near side boards, and they get it out of the zone. Boca stopped it just behind the blue line, dumps it in, and both sides will get line changes. Scoff plays it behind his own net over to Audio. Audio, his pass forward deflects off the skate of Alex Kyle into the Michigan zone. No icing. Ciccone plays it along the backboards to Boca, up to Selman. Soft pass to Nieves. He handles it. Michigan with a 3-on-2. Selman up the left side, into the middle. Nieves back to Kyle. The shot deflected off the skate of Connor Varley. A wide open net opportunity, unlucky for the Wolverines. Now going the other way is Penn State. Varley will dump it into the zone. Racine juggled the puck and whacked it into the corner with his stick. Now Ciccone ties up the puck, leaves it off for Martin. Martin out of his own zone to Kyle. Back taps to Martin, up to Nieves. Nieves up to Kyle, up the right side, back to the middle. Off of Nieves' escape. Martin backhands it toward the net. It's deflected and then played up the near side boards by Uhai to Goodwin. Goodwin tries to weave around Ciccone, but Ciccone takes the puck off him at center ice, loses it, gets leveled, and Penn State with the puck now. Kevin Kerr going the other way, leaves it off to Andrew Sturtz. Sturtz gains his own, tries a shot, blocked by Ciccone on the near side. Goodwin skates onto it, throws it into the slot in front of the net. Bouncing puck, picked up backhanded off the crossbar. I think it might have been a save by Steve Racine. Anyway, the puck played back into the middle. A shot by Glenn, saved the rebound, though. Tapped in by Andrew Sturtz, Penn State's leading goal scorer, with 17:35 to go here in the first period. Penn State strikes first. They lead 1-0.
Seems about right. Michigan clearly outplaying Penn State early on. Some great quality scoring chances. Penn State's first shot on net, and it finds the back of the net, and that's really been the story of this season of late for Michigan, is if they can't get goals going, they're going to give up ones back on the other way. Now it's back on the Michigan offense to pull them even.
Yeah, Sturtz was skating in front of the net. Glenn had a pretty clean look from the slot, and Sturtz with a textbook deflection to get that one by Steve Racine. It looked like Michigan was a bit eager to break out of the zone. Tyler Mott maybe should have been marking David Glenn in the middle. Looked to be skating toward the attack, and Michigan absolutely nobody on Sturts in front of the
You
net.
can't have a guy wide open like that, though, in front of the net, as you said. No one within 10 feet of him.
Yeah, Saccone and I think Cutler Martin both had their backs turned to him about at the level of the top of the face-off circles. Inexcusable stuff defending for the Michigan Wolverines. They're going to have to make up for it with their firepower on the offensive end.
And those are the types of plays that have fans so furious with the coaching staff of late. Is defensively at times they just seem so lost. There's another example.
Kerr over to Marsh, deflects it into the zone, loses the puck in the far corner. Warren plays it up to Marody. Up off the stick of Calderon, up the right side goes Nolan DeYoung, stops at the right point, sends a cross-ice pass, handled by Marody in the left circle, back to the point to Downing. Downing tries a shot, gets a deflection off Calderon wide. Puck thrown back in front of the net. Calderon fighting for position and the puck, but it trickles into the waiting glove of Matthew Scoff, who covers it up and holds for a face-off. 17-10 to go here in the first period. Michigan only one shot on goal, but Alex Kyle did have a golden opportunity that should have seen Michigan take a 1-0 lead prior to Penn State's goal. Line on the ice for the Wolverines. Comfort facing off against David Glenn for the Nittany Lions in the left attacking circle. DeYoung and Downing at the point. Face off one to Mott. Tries a shot. Kind of whiffed on it. Played back towards center ice, and DeYoung backhands it into the zone. It's stopped there by Audio. Sends a cross-ice pass. And it was, a Penn State Nittany Lion. Kenny Brooks harassed into turning the puck over. Puck falls back to Audio, though, behind his own net. Plays it up to Sturts, who shovels it down the ice. Icing waved off as Glenn beat down up, but Downing able to play it over to DeYoung. DeYoung up to Connor. Connor into the neutral zone to Mott. Pass mishandled, picked up by Varley. Varley plays it off the far side boards. Penn State with a partial line change. Couldn't handle the puck, but it bounces back to Varley. Over to David Thompson. Up ahead to Chase Berger up the near side. Scheid. Eric Scheid in on net. Crosses over the shot, and a glove save by Steve Racine. Fantastic save, a cross-crease pass. Penn State looked like they were about to double their lead, but Racine somehow flailed at the puck and came up with the glove save.
Yeah, a spectacular save where Michigan was very close to facing a 2-0 lead. Michael Downing just getting caught behind the attacker and Racine bailing him out once again.
Curtis Lloyd got to wonder what the heck he's got to do to put that puck in the back of the net. Great save, Racine. Face-off won by the Nittany Lions to Varley at the left point. He tries to skate down low with it, dumps it in behind the net to Tommy Olczyk. His pass back to the point, picked off by Alex Kyle, who stops with it, turns behind his own net, and then plays it up ahead to Werenski, over to Boca, now back up to Kyle, skating up the right side. Kyle, pass in front of the net, and Bunievis tries a backhand shot, and it is saved by Matthew Scoff. Tried to fake him into going forehand, but
and it almost worked. Scoff didn't even know where the puck was. Fortunately for him, it was between the wickets.
Nieves read every step
Great
of the
pass
way.
by Kyle.
Oh,
as
Kyle
well.
just feathered it. A saucer pass that landed right on the tape of Bunievis. He's going to regret missing that opportunity. 15:59 to go in the first period. Michigan wins the faceoff. Werenski, a quick shot on that, saved and knocked aside by Wax at it. Tied up with the body by the Nittany Lions. A scrum over on the far side. And coming up with it is Luke Uah. Tries to turn with it. He's leveled by Mott, who takes away the puck, but his pass then intercepted by Glenn. Glenn up to David Goodwin. Dumps it into the Michigan zone. It goes behind the net, picked up by Boca. Boca plays it up the near side boards to Comfort. Comfort leaves it for Mott. Mott skating quickly through the neutral zone, loses the puck. Werenski, though, picks it up. Shot from the slot is deflected. Tyler Mott tried to one-hand it behind the boards, but now Penn State picks up the puck. Going the other way is Loic. Loic into the circle, pass to the middle, deflected. Comes on the far side. He's tied up there by Kyle Connor. A lot of sticks flying. Saccone tripped up by Loic. Couldn't find the puck, and now Penn State with it behind the Michigan net. Skating out toward the left circle. It's played back to Audio at the left point. Tries a shot. It's blocked there by JT Comfort, who plays it high off the boards and out of the zone. It's picked up by Eric Audio near center ice. Plays it up ahead to Scheid. Leaves it off to Chase Berger. Tries a weak shot. Deflected aside by Racine. Berger tries to play it back behind the net. His pass intercepted by Werenski. Werenski plays it up the near side boards. It's stopped there by Varley, who turns and dumps it back into the Michigan zone. Scheid bodied up by Werenski in the corner. Werenski takes the puck off and plays it up ahead to Mott. Mott lifts a pass off the boards, finds Dexter Danks getting down into the right corner with the puck, lost out on it. Max Stewart comes in, applies a hit, but they lose the puck, and now Penn State at 2-on-2 the other way. DeRosa gains his own, bodied up hard by Danks, though. Danks takes the puck off of him, and now Stewart's getting up the right side with it, trying to weave around defenders. but another takeaway this time by the Nittany Lions, and Tommy Olczyk will dump it into the Michigan zone. Penn State with a line change. Racine stops it behind his own net, leaves it off for Martin. Martin up ahead to Nico Pericos. Pass deflected, taken away, but it falls back to Martin, who forces one to Pericos. Pericos loses it on the near side boards, but then Goodwin whips on a pass. Pericos backhands it up at Shewart, tries a shot, and it whistles just high. Rebound deflects all the way around toward the blue line. It's picked up by David Goodwin, who dumps it into the Michigan zone, into the far corner, downing up with it. Sets it up to Marody. Marody skating past the blue line through the neutral zone. 3-on-2 chance for the Wolverines if they want it. Plays it over to Warren. Warren, a shot deflected, and it bounces high over the backside boards. And with 13:45 to go here in the first period, Michigan still trails 1-0 to the Penn State Nittany Lions. It's been a lot of back and forth action so far. Some sloppy passing on both sides. Michigan's had some opportunities, but haven't really been able to get any sustained possession in the zone. It's been a lot of transition play.
Yeah, it's not a position I think Michigan is particularly uncomfortable playing in. They have the guns certainly offensively to keep going up tempo. The problem is more on the defensive end where Michigan's so vulnerable at times to breakaway opportunities. Already down 1-0. They can't really afford to see this pace continue if they don't start to get results from their scoring opportunities, which they've got a few good ones. Problem is, so far, Penn State's found the net. The Mason Blue have not.
Yeah, you got to imagine that maybe it's a side effect of having so many offensively skilled players on this team that everybody's always looking to attack for this Michigan team, and that does leave them vulnerable if everything doesn't go according to plan, if they have some sort of turnover. It seems like with everybody going in the wrong direction, looking to add to that scoring offense that, Michigan's the best in the country, that perhaps that kind of spirit is what leaves them vulnerable. On the ice for the Wolverines, Nieves, Kyle Selman, the defensive pairing, DeYoung and Downing. On the ice for the Nittany Lions, looks like Chase Berger, Curtis Loik, Luke Yuha, Kevin Kerr, and in addition, Eric Scheid. Face off in the left attacking circle, Nieves against Chase Berger. Nieves wins it back, but it's picked up by Scheid. Scheid across center ice. His pass intercepted by DeYoung. Plays it forward to Selman. Throws the puck into some space. It's picked up by Loik, deflected off the boards in front of Michigan's bench and into Penn State's, into the Michigan zone. DeYoung skates onto the puck, tied up in the corner by Berger, thrown down to the ice. Bit of a hand pass there by DeYoung to Kyle, and it was called by the referees. So Michigan unable to make a line change. Penn State will make one, and Penn State will have a face-off in Michigan's defensive zone.
Yeah, dangerous position here. Penn State, fresh legs on the ice. It's a tired line for Michigan. You just got to worry if Penn State wins this draw if they can double their lead.
DeRosa facing off against Nieves. In Penn State's left attacking circle, DeRosa wins it forward through the legs of Nieves, but he's met immediately by DeYoung, who plays it over to Nieves. Nieves across the blue line, across center ice with the puck with speed. Lost it out, though, turned over. Kenny Brooks on it for the Nittany Lions. Gains the zone up the right side. Sends a shot. Deflected. Big rebound by Racine. Picked up by the Wolverines. And now a 3-on-2 the other way. A 4-on-2 if they want it. Kyle gains the zone. Skates toward the middle. Leaves it up to Michael Downing. Tries a shot. And it's deflected high and out of play. A lot of bodies in front for the Wolverines, but also a lot of bodies for the Nittany Lions. Not a lot of shooting space for the Maize and Blue.
Yeah, good traffic, though, created in front of that marsh for Penn State. Took a dive just at the end there, but that's what Michigan's going to have to do. You can't always rely on the breakaway opportunities when you settle your offense in the attacking zone. Getting bodies in front of that is the best way to generate goals and scoring opportunities.
Both first lines on the ice right now. The CCM line for the Wolverines, the David Andrew, the dad lineup for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Michigan wins the faceoff. Connor tries a couple dangles, skates down in the corner, leaves the puck off for Tyler Mott. Mott turns toward his backhand behind the net with the puck. Bodied up there by Kevin Kerr. Backhands it over to Comfort. Gets the deflection into the corner. Comfort behind the net for Kyle Connor. Connor skates out into the left circle. Tries to weave his way into the middle, but he has the puck taken off and now skirts going the other way for the Nittany Lions. Throws a soft shot on net. Deflected aside by Racine. Rebound bounces around into the near side boards. Comfort plays it up ahead to Kyle Connor. Connor skating ahead with speed. Harassed. And there's a penalty called. And I think it's going to be Zach Saar going instantly to the bench for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
No, we've got a penalty shot, I believe, coming up. It looks like immediately the referee pointed to the circle.
Well, I guess we Guess we're going to see about that, but Penn State skaters are out there on the ice right now, and Zach Sar is in the penalty box.
See, I think that could have went either way, but with the weapons Michigan has, especially that CCM line, probably better off Michigan getting 5 minutes with the man advantage if they can get CCM back on the ice.
Sar fresh off the bench to commit the penalty, a hooking call, and he will be in the box for 2 minutes. Nieves fights for the faceoff, but it's won by the Nittany Lions and whacked down the ice. Stopped there by Steve Racine. Downing comes to pick it up. Downing skates from behind his own net. Saucer pass over to Selman, taken away. Dangerous play, but Olczyk fumbled the puck, and Downing able to get it back. Downing skates across center ice, plays it up the right side to Nieves. Nieves cutting toward the middle, lost out, but Marody picked it up near that right point, played it down low to Nieves, back to the middle, looking for Calderon. Couldn't handle the pass. It trickles over to Nieves, backhands it into the slot. No one there waiting for the Wolverines, and it's knocked out of the zone by the Nittany Lions. The Wolverines send it up to Calderon up the right side, gains the zone, skates behind the net with it, plays it off the far boards, puck bouncing, and it bounces out of the zone. Michigan disorganized to start this penalty kill. Downing passes it up ahead to Selman, but it's taken away by Scheid. Eric Scheid gains his own, cuts to his forehand. His shot saved by Steve Racine. Penn State leads the nation in shorthanded goals this year. Almost got one there. Now Downing with the puck. Lets it fall off his stick. 55 seconds to go on the power play. Tyler Mott skating up the middle. Weaves his way through, dumps it off the far side. Boards, bounces behind the net. Yuha picks it up, plays it over to Kevin Kerr, and he ladles it down the ice. The Wolverines 45 seconds to go on the power play. It's been a toothless effort so far for them. Werenski with the puck from behind his own net, up the right side to JT Comfort. Pass across ice, intercepted and picked up by Tommy Olczyk. Olczyk with a shot. That one goes wide. Hard to tell who's on the power play here. Alex Kyle onto the puck now for the Wolverines with speed. Leaves it off for Werenski. Werenski cuts to his left. Plays it across ice. Alex Kyle onto the puck. Lost out on it. Penn State sends it the other way, and Tommy Olczyk will chase it down. Steve Racine, however, plays it behind his own net. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Comfort back to Werenski. Back to Comfort, stuck in his own zone. Finds a pass up to Tyler Mott. Mott across the neutral zone, into the zone, up the right side to Kyle. Kyle to the point to counter. Penalty over for Penn State. Kyle throws one on net. No one there, but it's going to be another penalty coming to the Penn State Nittany Lions as David Thompson tossed Tyler Mott to the ice in front of the net. So just after that, really anemic power play opportunity, the Wolverines getting another one. 10:20 to go here in the first period. Michigan still trails 1-0 to the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, and they're going to get another opportunity. Sometimes the spacing of a power play simply creates more power plays. That's the case there. Just too much tone and speed for Penn State in a 4-on-5 situation. Let's see if Michigan can take advantage of another 2 minutes of 5-on-4 hockey.
Nieves, Calderon, Selman, the forwards against Glenn Sturtz, Yuha, and Kevin Kerr for the Nittany Lions. Selman on the faceoff against Glenn. Glenn wins it back to Kerr. His clearance attempt stopped at the point by Marody. Weaves through a couple sticks into the right circle, but he's tied up and lost the puck. Yuha swings it down the ice for the Nittany Lions, who get a line change. A lion change, if you will.
Well done.
Thank you. Downing on the puck behind his own net. Takes his time, sends it up the right side to Nieves. Nieves just dumps it into the zone. JT Comfort giving chase. Yuha whacks it back toward the right point. Kept in there by Boo Nieves. Cuts to his right, leaves it off for Marody. Marody to the middle, looking for Calderon. He's tied up. They're fighting for the puck, and it's picked up now by Scheid, going the other way with some speed. Downing with him every step of the way, and Scheid dragged down to the ice behind the net, lost the puck. It's picked up there by Boo Nieves.
4-on-3.
Nieves up the middle to the right side. Cooper Marody tied up in the corner by Eric Audio, and he sends it down the ice to Zach Werenski. I keep messing with the ambient mic. Not really a good sound there. Werenski has the puck behind his own net. Plays it up the left side to Connor. A little bit too long for Connor. Struggled with the pass, but fights for it. It gets it into the zone, and it's cleared away by Olczyk. Back to Mott, back to Werenski at center ice. Werenski up the near side to Kyle. Kyle makes a cut, staying at the point to the middle to Werenski. Back over to the right side for Connor. Up top to Werenski. A drive, and it's saved by Matthew Scoff.
Great save there. Not enough traffic, though, for that shot from the point to have any opportunity, really, of finding the back of the net.
8:57 to go in the first period. 37 seconds to go on the penalty to David Thompson. Michigan looking for that equalizing goal to make it 1-1. Face-off won by the Nittany Lions and sent all the way back down the ice. Racine settles it for Werenski. Werenski skating from behind his own net, up the left side to Connor. Connor skating up the middle. Dangles with it toward the right side. Sauces it to the middle to Werenski, and he can't handle the pass. It falls into a pile of ice shavings in front of the Penn State bench and stops where it's picked up by Tommy Olczyk. Olczyk over to Juha. Juha will bounce it off the boards into Michigan's zone with 5 seconds on the power play. Michigan unsuccessful power play opportunities.
Certainly disappointing effort. Some decent chances, but nothing really that'll stand out when recapping this first period.
Werenski up to Danks. Danks tied up, loses the puck, falls back to the left point to DeYoung, plays it over to Danks. Up to Nico Pericos. Pericos and Danks fighting for the puck in the far corner. Danks skating back out toward the left point. DeYoung tries a slap shot, deflected down in front of the net. Now a man skating right up the middle of the ice for the Nittany Lions. It Sturts, spins with the puck and loses it. DeYoung now swings a pass, falling down up the right side to Stewart. Stewart a shot, and it's saved high off the boards by Scoff. Puck bouncing along those far side boards, kept in by Pericos, but he lost the puck, and now Penn State skater hits
Players
the ice.
falling all over the ice. It's slippery, folks.
It is Varley, and it is a circus out there. Berger up the near side to David Thompson, sends the puck into the zone, bounces around the boards up the far side to Berger. Berger skates with it behind the net. His pass in front bounces into the air, caught out of the air by Shy, but he is bodied to the ice by Marody, and Michigan takes the puck away. Calderon up the right side, plays a pass up ahead toward Warren, asks a lot of him to skate onto it. He does, throws it in front of the net, but it's deflected wide, poked by Scoff. Penn State going the other way now. Berger's pass intercepted by Cutler Martin, plays it up the near side to Marody. Marody gains the zone at the right point, stops with it, cuts to his right, throws it on net, and it's saved easily by Matthew Scoff. The conditions of this ice here at Yost Ice Arena, not so great. You would think with as much time as they have had away, they would be able to, get it in shape to play. But
yeah, hard to explain. Still 7 minutes left to go in the first period. Bodies falling left and right from these ice conditions. Finally, they are going to get the shovels out here to at least clear things out in front of the bench areas. But outside of that, not much you can do. These players are just going to have to hang on and tread lightly, because as we've seen sometimes this season and certainly in previous seasons, a body falling to the ice can often lead to odd man breaks the other way. One thing Michigan can not afford to do is go down 2-0 and give Penn State all sorts of momentum heading into the dressing rooms.
yeah, and Michigan has come awful close to surrendering those goals. Racine has stood pretty tall in net for the Wolverines in today's game thus far, only surrendering the one goal with traffic in front and nobody around. Not really a goal you can fault Racine for. Maybe one you want him to save, but you want him to save everything if you're a Wolverines fan. Nieves, Kyle, Warren, Ciccone, and Martin on the ice for the Maize and Blue, wearing their white uniforms with a couple maize stripes across the midriff. Face off in the right attacking circle. Penn State wearing their navy blue attire. Penn State wins the draw again. Penn State's won a lot of face-offs in today's game. Sends it up the near side board. Ciccone stops it for the Wolverines. Plays it across to the far side to Martin. Struggles with the puck, but gets it up ahead to Selman. Cuts awkwardly, but holds on to the puck near center ice. He's tripped up from behind. And the puck off his stick to Martin. Plays it back up ahead to Selman. Selman gains his own cross-ice pass to Kyle, who settles it down but can't get it on his stick. And Tommy Olczyk tries to clear it. Plays it over to Kevin Kerr on the far side. Pass up the boards to Juha, and Juha dumps it into the zone. It'll bounce into the near side corner where it's picked up by Joseph Ciccone. Ciccone off the back boards over to Martin. Martin passes it up ahead, looking for Alex Kyle. It's deflected to him. 2-on-1 for the Wolverines. Kyle over to Nieves, shoots, and it's gloved by Matthew Scoff and bounces aside. Nieves a little trouble getting in position for that shot. Not the best pass from Kyle.
Pass needed to hit the tape of the stick. It didn't, and as you mentioned, had to readjust awkwardly. Not enough to get a clean shot off. Otherwise, we're tied at 1-1.
Boca the turnover. Goodwin skates up ahead, loses the puck. It's thrown on net from an odd angle by Sturts, and then picked up by Boca. Boca over to Connor, tried to get it across ice to Kyle through a lot of Penn State sticks, took a deflection, picked up by Kyle Connor as he was skating into the zone, but Kyle was offsides.
Yeah, that was not even close. Referee appeared for a moment, almost fooled by how far ahead Alex Kyle was.
Comfort facing off with Berger. Berger wins it back into his own zone. Varley and Mott skate toward the puck. It's played out in front and stick to side by Scoff. Boca demanded a pass from Comfort, and Comfort threw it to no one in particular, taken away. And now Eric Scheid plays it across into the far corner where Berger bodies up Boca. Boca wins the puck back to Saccone up to the near corner to Mott. Mott tied up by the Nittany Lions is taken away by Curtis Loik. Loik fighting for the puck in that corner with Werenski. Tied up by Tyler Mott, and Werenski picks it up, sends it behind his own net to Boca. Boca backhands it up ahead. It's taken away by the Nittany Lions. The forecheck very effective so far for Penn State. Boca skates onto the puck, plays it up the near side to Comfort. Comfort up ahead to Mott, and the puck bounces off Mott's stick into Michigan's attacking zone, picked up by the Nittany Lions. But now a turnover. Connor on the puck in the slot. Kyle Connor a shot, and he scores! Kyle Connor takes advantage and brings Michigan back level in this game. We are tied at 1 with 4:46 to go here in the first period.
Connor's fabulous offensive freshman campaign continues once again. A spectacular goal, a much-needed goal. And this is what happens when you continue to pepper any team with offensive pressure. Kyle Connor, so much speed. A nice little button hook from behind the net, skated from the right wing circle all the way across the crease, and just speed and a great shot placement, blocker side, top shelf. Absolutely spectacular. Reminiscent of the Dylan Larkin days a season ago. Kyle Connor with just too much speed, had 3 Navy shirts on the ice trailing him, trying to catch up to him. No, sir, we're tied 1-1.
The CCM line strikes again for the Wolverines. Face-off won by the Nittany Lions from center ice. Goodwin in his own zone, harassed by Dexter Dank, sends it up ahead. It's picked up by Sturts, and he almost had an opportunity on that, but Downing tied him up and knocked the puck out of the zone. Goodwin skates back, wins it. Now Uha plays it over to Kevin Kerr. Kerr skates through a couple Wolverines, plays it to the near side to Goodwin. Goodwin across to Kevin Kerr. Kerr throws it on net. It's stopped by Racine, picked up by Danks. Danks, a bad pass, getting out of the zone. Sturts picks up his shot, blocked, and falls back to the left point to Kevin Kerr, who knocks it into the Wolverine zone. Behind the net is Downing. He picks it up, sends it out near center ice where it's stopped by Scheid. And Scheid will turn and send it back into the Wolverine zone. DeYoung settles with it behind his own net. Nolan DeYoung skates out with the puck across his own blue line, cuts to his left. No one to pass to really, so he dumps it down into the zone. It's settled behind the net by Scoff. Scoff over to Audio, tried to send it off the backboards, and the puck falls in front of the net to Marodi, and he blew the shot at an open net. Now Penn State going the other way. It's Kenny Brooks, throws it wide of the net. It bounces off the backboard. Scheid throws it in front to Berger, who tried to throw it off the back of Racine and in, and it bounced to the left point to Audio. Audio download looking for Berger, but it's taken away by the Wolverines. Now Calderon up ahead to Brendan Warren. Warren skating toward his left, gains the zone, dumps it in. Calderon giving chase behind the net. It's picked up, though, by Olchik, who plays it behind his own net over to Thompson. Thompson over to Ricky DeRosa. Fights for the puck through a couple of Wolverines, dumps it into the zone, but it's picked up by Saccone. He'll send it back to center ice to Connor Varley, and his dump into the zone ricochets off the boards and over the backboards, out of play. So we're going to see a face-off just outside Michigan's defensive zone. 3:02 to go here in the first period. Michigan came so close to getting that 2-1 lead, but Cooper Marodi couldn't find the target.
Yeah, and I think Michigan will be content going to the locker room, even at 1-1, they'd certainly like to get the lead, especially considering that the 2 power plays that they squandered. This is a game that Michigan really should have the lead. They gave up a difficult goal on, yet again, the first shot. It feels like almost every home game I've seen this year that the first, second, or third shot has led to an opponent goal. But Michigan's played well in this first period, despite the adversity that they started this matchup with Penn State in their final homestand with.
Yeah, to their credit, I think Michigan's done pretty well with defusing the kinds of odd man rushes that Penn State has been getting. You know, to give up those opportunities against lesser teams is really inexcusable for the Wolverines. But against a team of Penn State's quality, those things are going to happen, and Michigan's done a good enough job of preventing Racine from seeing a ton of awful looks.
Yeah, Michigan, the first-ranked team in the nation. Penn State not far behind. They're 5th in the nation in goals for game. We'll update you on a score of interest for many of our thousands and thousands of listeners. Michigan State currently beating down Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament 58-41 on the bottom side of the bracket. Of course, Michigan, after their upset victory over Indiana, facing off against Purdue tomorrow in the early matchup.
Nieves facing off against DeRosa at center ice. He wins the faceoff back to Werenski. Werenski back and forth with the puck, plays it over to Boca. Boca leaves it off for Werenski across his own blue line with it. Skates by a couple of Nittany Lions, dumps it into the Penn State zone. It's picked up behind the net by Yuha, swings it along the far side. And it goes out of the zone and trickles all the way back to Nieves in Michigan's own zone. Falls back to Boca. Boca up to Werenski, stops with the puck. Lets Tommy Olczyk whistle by him. Still with it in his own zone as Zach Werenski plays it up the near side to Nieves. Stops with the puck, dumps it into the zone. Looked to find a streaking Selman. Selman stopped his run, and the puck picked up by David Glenn for the Nittany Lions. Plays it over to Yuha's clearance attempt. Stopped by Nieves at that left point, and he dumps it back into the Penn State zone. Skated onto by Kerr. Kerr sends it up the near boards, looking for Sturts. But it was an errant pass from his own zone. Goes all the way around the boards. Picked up by Nolan DeYoung for an icing. 2:09 to go here in the first period. Michigan and Penn State tied at 1. Here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor, your home for Michigan hockey. Connor Comfort-Mott out there for the Wolverines along with DeYoung and Downing. You just expect something cool to happen every time that trio out on the ice. Faces off against Glenn, though. Glenn wins the puck for the Nittany Lions. It's up ahead to Goodwin. Goodwin cross-ice pass looking for Sturts, the goal scorer, and it's deflected up and into the Michigan bench by Michael Downing. Good presence of mind there from the Michigan defenseman, getting in the passing lanes, making nothing easy for the Nittany Lions. Face-off just outside of Michigan's defensive zone. It'll be Glenn and Comfort. Comfort wins it, sends it back to DeYoung, skating in his own left circle. Cross ice to Downing. Downing skates out of the zone through the neutral zone and sends in a pass off the boards. Back behind that, Audio whiffed on a clearance. Trickles into that near side corner. Finally knocked out of there by Penn State, and now shot going the way. Feathers it up ahead to Glenn. Glenn, odd angle shot saved by Racine. Rebound, a long one, bounces out toward that right point. It's knocked back in by Kenny Brooks. Flung it off the boards, but Downing picked it up, and now Comfort
3-on-2
for the Wolverines. A 3-on-3 opportunity. Comfort over to Connor, back to Mott, but the pass deflected by Kerr. And now Penn State with it going the other way is Chase Berger. Berger knocks it into the zone up the near side, into the corner, skates onto his own pass, tied up there by Zacconi, plays it back to Varley, and Varley couldn't keep it in. Bounces back to Alec Marsh. Marsh plays it up ahead to Olczyk, up to Berger, gains the zone up the left side. Down low to Olczyk, tried to throw it in front of the net. It's deflected 1 minute to go here in the first period. Pass back to the point, intercepted by Nieves, fresh onto the ice, plays it across ice to Stewart up the near side. Stewart stops with the puck, leaves it off for Danks in the right circle. Danks, cross ice pass, a wide open Cutler Martin, tries a shot, and it is saved, a pad save by Matthew Scoff, and he holds on to the puck.
Nice cross ice pass there, just not enough traffic, but can't argue with the passing, and I have to correct you. It was a 3-on-2. Varley had headed to the bench. He had a 1 foot already in the bench. Jerry quickly realized there's 3 men in white shirts and just 2 defenders. Quickly got back. Michigan just couldn't take advantage of the odd man rush, but another great cross ice pass there. Michigan continuing to move the puck well, just not getting that final touch that puts it behind the net.
Face off, tied up 1 by the Nittany Lions, over to Goodwin. Goodwin skating out of the zone with it for the Nittany Lions, bodied up by Stewart, lost the puck. Picked up by Dexter Danks, plays it across to Cutler Martin on the far side. Martin out of his own zone, past the blue line, feathers the pass up the right side, bounces around, kept in by Dexter Danks. Danks dumps it down low to Stewart. Stewart back to Danks, back to Stewart. On the doorstep, wraparound try, blocked down by the Nittany Lions. Had a couple of defenders in the area and sent all the way down the ice. 15 seconds to go here in the first period. Zacconi settles the puck for the Wolverines. Maybe a chance for one final attack. He's taking his time with it. Zacconi's still taking his time with it. Maybe no time for a final attack, and Zacconi's just going to let the time run out. Passes across to Martin. Martin up to Warren. Takes a deflection, and that'll do it for the first period. Michigan tied at 1 as we head into the break. Any final thoughts, Leo?
Solid first period. Michigan just didn't have those final touches, but they looked well. They gave up an early goal, one that could have seen this team rattled. Instead, they responded well. Really dominated possession in the first period. The defense looked much improved after that early mistake.
All right, we'll be back with you in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned.
Welcome back inside Yost Ice Arena for WCBN sports coverage of Michigan hockey on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network. I'm Leo Blavin, joining me Morris Fabry. Michigan and Penn State deadlocked at 1 after the first period, getting set to start the second. Morris, what do we need to see from Michigan for the Wolverines to pull ahead here?
Well, I think Michigan's got to string together some passes, getting out of their own zone. Penn State's forecheck, very effective in the first half. But Michigan has been able to generate plenty of opportunities in open ice, haven't been able to put them away, but with the kind of talent that they have, it's only a matter of time.
Seconds away from starting this second period. Michigan had 2 power plays in the first period. They were held scoreless in both. Penn State has yet to have a man advantage in this contest. How much of that was simply the speed of Michigan creating those power plays, and how much of it was just Penn State being in the wrong place?
I'd say, well, one of them was absolutely a result of Michigan's speed and Kyle Connor getting tied up on the breakaway. The other just an error in judgment by David Thompson. So 50-50.
David Glenn and JT Comfort seconds away from getting back underway here from Yost as we get set to start the second period on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network. WCBN FM Ann Arbor, Michigan and Penn State are even at 1 apiece. Not sure exactly what the holdup is.
I think they're waiting for you to enunciate JT Comfort a little more clearly.
JT Comfort and David Glenn face off, and Comfort wins the draw to open this second period. 1-1 currently the score. Michigan skating right to left in this second period in the home white sweaters with the maize and blue trimming in the blue shorts. Penn State in their road blue uniforms with the white numerals. Working it up the far boards. Goodwin skating into the right wing circle. It's got just one man to beat. Nolan DeYoung forced to slash him from behind. And we may have a penalty shot coming up. But a power play nonetheless upcoming here. Just as I complimented Michigan for not giving up a power play in the first period, they give up one very quickly in the second. Just 20 seconds into this second period, heading to the box for 2 minutes will be Max Schuer.
It was a positively scintillating pass from Luke Yuha, just gliding along these near side boards perfectly onto the stick.
And I have to interrupt you. Heading off now, Kevin Kerr heading to the locker room. And joining him will be Tommy Olchuk. So 2 Penn State players, or correction, that was just Tommy Olchuk helping out the equipment manager. So simply Kevin Kerr, but a starting defenseman, the freshman from Penn Salem, Pennsylvania. He played for the Tri-City Storm, of course, of the USHL. He's off now, heading to the locker room with an injury.
I think it's pronounced Bensalem.
5-on-4 upcoming here. Penn State looking to regain the lead. But Michigan will stop their efforts at least early on in the power play with a face-off win and a pass the length of the ice. Handled by Eamon McAdam.
Penn State, the number 6 team in the country as far as power play success goes. Michigan's going to have to be careful not give up any odd man opportunities.
McAdam getting the start of this second period in net, and a turnover leading to a shot from Audio from the point that's redirected well wide. Audio played it across to Brooks. Brooks couldn't hold on to it, but Marsh centering attempt is sent away by Nolan DeYoung. Luke Yuha, length of the ice pass intended for his captain, David Glenn, who gets a deflection on it, trying to clear it from the zone, but unable to do so is Boca, and it reaches out to the point, kept into play, however, by David Thompson. Along the near boards, unable to keep it in play was Yuha, and it goes the length of the ice. 40 seconds left to go on the man advantage for Penn State as Thompson skates down the puck behind his own net.
Penn State's defenders really looking for that long pass up the ice through Michigan's diamond formation on the penalty kill.
Yuha sends it to the opposite corner. The near boards here, and again, it's easily cleared. Penn State having a tough time settling things down on this power play as JT Comfort heading to the bench gives a nice little poke in the back to Eric Audio. Audio now with the puck, playing it ahead to Thompson along the near boards. He gains the zone and settles things down there. Plays it to the point. Audio from the Big Ten logo at the point. Fires a shot off the back end boards. Not able to get a backhand on it was Zach Saar. Saar finally corrals the puck. Fires a high wrister. That misses everything. Brooks keeps it in the zone. Skating in a nice cross ice pass, but Audio couldn't finish it. And Schuart back on the ice, 5-on-5. And Michigan, a solid penalty kill. Nothing really doing for Penn State, and now it's cleared ahead. Alex Kyle gains the zone. Fires a wrister along the near side of the pipe, and it missed. Nolan DeYoung gloves down the puck across to Downing. Fires a blast from the center line. Kept in by Connor. Now Cristobal Bunievas back to Connor. Connor couldn't keep it. Downing trying desperately to keep it in the zone. Does just that. A deflection on the shot from the blue line. Nearly took a deflection in the back of the net. Good scoring opportunity there created by Michael Downing's effort to keep it in the zone and then fire a contested shot through traffic.
Tyler Mott skating back onto the ice. Not sure why he was coming from the direction of the locker room from behind Penn State's net. Maybe something to monitor later on. But yeah, good effort by Downing, off balance to just throw that in the right direction.
Marody, Connor, Kyle DeYoung, and Downing on the ice for the Maize and Blue. Penn State winning this draw and skating ahead with it is Marsh. He's nearly upended by Downing, forcing him to dispossess the puck a bit early, and Nolan DeYoung skates onto it in his own defensive zone. Marody getting a deflection on it, but only as far as the stick of Luke Yuha. Alex Kyle winning a battle for the puck at center ice, sends it across to Yuha, though, for Penn State, who gains the zone. Yuha playing it ahead to Marsh, who's upended by Nolan DeYoung. Downing centering it for Marody, and now 3-on-2. Michigan looking to play with pace as Kyle gains the zone. Kyle tried to center it, instead his shot deflected wide of the net by Yuha's skate. Werenski keeps it in the zone, fires one from the point that's blocked by Yuha once again. He's been all over the ice in this second period. And now a pass intended for Marsh is brought in by DeRosa, who fires it from center ice down the ice so Penn State can get a change. Werenski settling things down behind the Michigan net, and Steve Racine, who's in the cage. 10 shots to Penn State, 12 to Michigan in this 1-1 hockey game here in the second period with 16 minutes to go. Pass into the Penn State defensive zone is corralled by Thompson, who fires a two-line pass up ahead to Goodwin. And Goodwin could not get a clean shot off. Morris, got to ask you to stop banging around with the microphone. And a pass deflected up and out of play here with 15:41 left to go in the second period. Still tied at 1 apiece. Morris, frantic second period so far. Neither side really getting good scoring opportunities, but back and forth the puck is went.
Yeah, it just seems like neither side really has the optimal finishing touch in today's game. The passing not exactly tape to tape. We'll see if that can be remedied at all.
From the right wing circle, the faceoff is won by the Wolverines. Boca playing it ahead to Madu, backhands it up and out of the zone. Brooks chases it down for the Nittany Lions and able to clear it ahead. Bringing it in is Curtis Lloyd. Lloyd plays it behind the net where Steve Racine comes out to play it. Berger fired a shot, tough angle, and it was blocked away. Lloyd leaving it behind to Scheid. Scheid upended into the boards, but kept in the zone and firing a no-angle shot, and the net comes off of the crease.
Penn State just trying to generate some traffic in front of the net.
Kenny Brooks fired that pass into the crease area, and it was dismounted along the far post. So a faceoff will come from the left wing circle in the Penn State attacking zone. 15:05 left to go in the second period on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network. WCBN FM Ann Arbor. The score tied at 1 apiece. A face-off win for Penn State, and a shot fire that was quickly kicked away before it could get to Steve Racine. A pass up ahead to JT Comfer allows him to backhand it out of the zone. Sideline to sideline, he sent the pass, and Kyle Connor brought it down. Now skating ahead, Boca. He backhands it into the zone and quickly loses his stick immediately upon his hit after getting rid of the pass. Tyler Mott trying to keep it in the zone. High bouncing puck finally secured by Eric Audio from Finland. Audio playing it ahead. to Connor Varley, and a turnover leads it to Calderon. One man to beat, and he does it. 5-hole backhand goal.
Both goals for Michigan today off a turnover. A lot of opportunism for the Wolverines. Calderon, fresh off the bench, skates onto the ice, and hey, look what I found. A wide open 1-on-0 breakaway, and he makes no mistake.
Absolutely. Great forecheck pressure by Marody, forced the turnover, and then Calderon, all he had to do was beat the netminder, and he does just that, making Eamon McAdam look silly there. Front hand to backhand, 5-hole, back of the net. Yeah, and worth pointing out that Matthew Scoff, who did start the first period, replaced by Eamon McAdam in this second period. Just something to keep an eye on going forward as a hand pass called here after Michigan's second goal of this game. This one coming from Tony Calderon.
Penn State has split time this year, both goalies having played about half of their games. McAdam, the better save percentage and the better goals against average on the year.
11th goal of the season for Calderon. And McAdam, you're talking about, he's a New York Islanders draft pick. The only current draft selection on this Penn State squad that dressed tonight. So the talent parity is certainly evident, but you couldn't tell by the rankings of these two sides. Michigan coming in as the 9th ranked team in the nation. Penn State 14th. Michigan currently leading this game 2-1. A turnover at center ice by Brooks. However, the sin bin time is coming for the captain from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta, David Glenn. He will sit for 2 minutes.
Michael Downing slow to get up off the ice. Downing usually the one on the dishing end, not the receiving end of the kind of bone-crunching hits that evidently will send David Glenn to the sin bin. I didn't catch it when it happened. It was something away from the play, and obviously
I'd have to
something
imagine
late.
the call was interference. Neither of us saw the play, but as you mentioned, the puck was at center ice. The whistle called for a hit that happened in the Michigan defensive zone. And as you mentioned, a guy of his size going down hard. You don't often see Michael Dowling slow to get up. Clearly a malicious hit with poor intent from the captain, David Glenn. And he will pay the price. 2 minutes. How does Michigan, who's 0 for 2 on the day on the power play, take advantage now with their third power play of tonight's contest?
Well, I think Michigan's been a bit too tentative on the power play so far. The defensemen kind of waiting for the perfect play instead of just trying to make a good play for the Maize and Blue today. Penn State has been effective on the forecheck, even playing with a man down. And obviously Michigan's worried about turning the puck over on the power play given Penn State's proclivity for shorthanded goals. But at some point, you've just got to get the puck forward. I think Michigan could benefit from dump and chase hockey a little bit more. They've got the numbers advantage. They've got the talent. And they've just got to do what it takes to get the goal.
.48 left to go in the second period. Michigan on top 2-1, and now they have a power play. A face-off draw for the Nittany Lions, and Kyle Connor unable to keep the puck in the attacking zone as it sent the length of the ice. Kneeing officially the call as Kyle Connor gets a cross-ice pass, skating in with speed, left wing circle, fed it back to Alex Kyle, but it was deflected before it could find the tape of the stick. Werenski keeping in the zone to Connor. Connor across to JT Kupfer, whose one-timer is kicked wide by McAdam. Again, Comfort sends it across to Connor, ahead to Kyle. Kyle, second opportunity, finally. Glove covers it up for McAdam. Strong start to this power play, 35 seconds in.
Well, the passing, absolutely superb. Connor sent a saucer pass across ice, and I think Comfort might have whacked that one before it even touched down on the one-time try. And even got it on net. Then some tic-tac-toe stuff, found Kyle in front of the net, took one whack, 2 whacks at it, but McAdam up equal to the task.
Berger and Comfort a face-off. Comfort winning the draw. Connor had a midair, keeps it in play. Werenski gloves it and keeps it in the zone. His one-timer blast from the point, and Mock couldn't get enough of the deflection on it. McAdam gloves it in. Just 8 seconds elapsed there on that last sequence, and another golden scoring opportunity. Now 15 shots for the Wolverines.
And I think Mott did get a deflection on that one, but I think McAdam's glove was just in the right place there. Good positioning from the Penn State goalie.
A minute 17 still to go on the man advantage. Connor gets the opening draw. Werenski plays it to Comfort in the left wing circle. Back to the point. Werenski across to Connor in the right wing circle. Connor settles it back down now to Wierenski. Cross to Comfort in the left wing. His pass cross ice to Connor, deflected in a near race. Could have led to a scoring opportunity at will as Connor dispossessed, or Wierenski rather, dispossessed of the puck. But now Michigan's got a 3-on-2 break the other way. Mott head to Comfort. Leaves it back to Connor, and it's poked away. Michael Downing, fortunately for Michigan, the only man there. Otherwise, another scoring opportunity could have come on the shorthanded for Penn State. Nieves regains the zone as Michigan gets a change. Nieves skating quickly behind the net. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Downing. Head to Nieves in the left wing circle. Now to Downing, who skates to the point. Across to Connor in the right wing circle. Connor skates in. Pauses, gives to Mott right in front of the net. Mott's flipped over the wrist shot. Is unrewarded right in front of the crease. Nieves quickly regains the zone. Sends it across to Calderon. Calderon intercepting a pass, I think intended for Marody. Selman skates onto it, keeping in the zone. Nieves to the point. Downing's one-time blast is deflected wide. Nieves to Calderon. Cross ice to Marody. Awkwardly handled on the backhand. Full strength. Selman centering it. Calderon trying to get a stick on it, unable to do so. And now Penn State's back at full strength, 2-on-1, if they can take advantage. David Glenn skating onto the puck, freshly out of the sin bin. A battle for the loose puck behind the net. Won by Michigan. It's turned over. Racine couldn't find it. Fortunately for him, it bounced out of harm's way. Selman skates ahead. 4 blue shirts as Michigan gets a change. Selman, the lone man, pressing. Kept in the zone by Ciccone in front of the Michigan bench. And Selman backhanded. Dexter Danks battling behind the Penn State net. He's tied up. This time with Connor Varley, and a whistle comes. No movement of the puck.
I think the puck fell into the jersey, maybe even into the pants of Dexter Danks. And that's where the puck was resting as he fished it out. Michigan absolutely dominated the play on that power play. But I think a problem that they ran into, these guys on the ice in the CCM line, they're such heady passers that they tried to make a lot of spectacular plays.
Bit too unselfish there.
Yeah.
Short facing off with Berger, and Short wins the draw. Cutler Martin playing it ahead, and Dexter Danks dumping it into the zone off the pass. Short was there first. Danks dispossessed, and now skating ahead is Berger. However, his line mate, Zach Saar from Richland, Michigan, you just take the I-94 a little ways to get there. He was offside.
About 100 miles away, Zach Saar.
Pride of Muskegon, the Muskegon Lumberjacks. I know a team you're very familiar with in the USHL.
Coming in at 6'6", 225. Easily the largest player on the ice. When he's on the ice, which doesn't happen that often.
DeRosa facing off with JT Comfort, and Comfort winning the draw. Alex Kyle. Now Wierenski. Plays it ahead to Tyler Mott. Now Wierenski skates onto it. As Kyle Connor trying to keep it in the zone unsuccessfully. Juha skating ahead with it for Penn State, playing it out of midair. Clearly played with a high stick, but Boca will negate it by playing it first. Marsh keeping it in the zone for Penn State. And played hard from behind. Tyler Mott's going to draw a penalty for that one. 2 minutes. Hooking. And Penn State will go on the power play for the second time this period. They did well on their first penalty kill, but they're going to have to do so again if they want to maintain a 2-1 lead with 10:10 left to go in the second period on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network, WCBM FM in Arbor.
Mott was put in an awkward position as Michigan, I think, thought that they had the puck, and a couple guys started skating up the ice. But Alec Marsh with strong feet to hold that puck to his skate, got in a good position, and Mott had to foul.
Cristobal Bunieves winning the draw on this penalty kill for Michigan. However, Penn State keeping in the zone. A left wing shot coming and deflected up and out of play off the stick of David Thompson for the Nittany Lions. And now a face-off to come, this time from the left wing circle. 1:47 still to go on the man advantage.
Really a flashy play there by Sturts. Faked the shot, not once, but then twice. Left it behind his back for Thompson from a worse angle. A guy who's only scored 2 goals this year as opposed to Sturts' 18.
Thompson firing a blast inside. Racine lost his footing and now quickly gets up off the deflected shot that didn't find the net. Yuha with it from the point, fires a shot, needed a redirection, didn't get one from Glenn, his captain, in front of the crease. This time another deflection tip behind the net. Glenn battling for it there, but to no avail. Now Thompson with it at the point, across to Yuha. Yuha firing a wrister off the back end boards intended for the ricochet. Nothing doing. Now fired across to Goodwin in the right wing circle. Plays to the point to Yuha. Yuha thought about firing a blast and said plays it to Goodwin. Racine got a glove on it, punching it wide, but it's still in play. Yuha back at the point. Selman trying to block the shot. Up to the point now, Goodwin. Goodwin fires a blast that's redirected by Glenn well wide of the net. Still a minute left to go on this penalty kill for Michigan, who lead it 2-1. 9 minutes left to go in the power play. Goodwin skates into the blue line. And now to the right wing circle, Yuha. Playing it down to Andrew Sturtz. Sturtz behind the cage trying to clear it. Now Michigan able to do so thanks to Nolan Dion. Both sides getting changes here.
Penn State's been kept largely on the perimeter on this power play. Michigan trusting that they'll be able to get a body on anybody who tries to get into a high percentage scoring zone.
Great effort there by Max Short to negate an easy gaining of the zone. And as I say that, Penn State does gain the zone. Marsh battling for the puck. Behind the net as is Scheid, and it's sent the length of the ice. Another clear for the Wolverine penalty kill unit. 10 seconds left to go on the man advantage. Tyler Mott up and ready to get out of the bench as soon as the gates are open. Penn State trying to gain the zone one last time. Unable to do so. Short sends it the length of the ice. We're back at full strength.
And it's another player slipping on those ice shavings in front of the benches.
Oh, and a nearly beautiful backhanded pass by Brendan Warren. Denied, but Warren gaining the zone. Fires a blast, and it's easily brought in by McAdam.
Varley did a good job of cutting the pass off to, I think, Calderon, who was streaking up the right side. Left Warren all alone with the goalie, but Eamon McAdam in the right place stopped that hard drive from just inside that left circle.
7:52 left to go in the second period. Michigan on top 2-1 as we'll take this opportunity, as will the Yost Ice Arena sold out crowd, to recognize Robert Hurst, who served from February 1943 to September 1945 as a radio operator and gunner on a B-24 bomber. The technical sergeant, the Ward's warrior for today's game, and the crowd absolutely loving to take this opportunity to honor one of our nation's heroes. Morris, Michigan, another solid penalty kill. How can they increase their lead now that they've got momentum back on their side?
Well, I think they need to do a lot of what they've been doing, keep pushing the action. If they could draw another penalty, that would be great, because they looked like a clearly superior team when they were on that power play, took control of the game. And it seems like something's got to give soon on either side. Both teams getting some pretty good chances around the net. Nobody been able to put one home since Calderon.
A face-off win for Penn State, allow them to clear it from the zone. Warren playing it ahead to Calderon. Marody able to keep it in the zone. Calderon's backhand, he lifted it too high. Calderon able to chase down his own rebound, keeping in the zone. Skating in circles, playing it to the blue line to Orensky, who dumps it behind the net. Warren trying to be the first man there, but he was not, and now skating forward with it is Luke Yuha. Yuha with speed, however, unable to hold his line, was Zach Saar on the far line. We've mentioned his name twice now, both for negative plays for the Richland, Michigan native.
Zach, sorry that he skated a little too far.
Well done once again.
Penn State adopting a really aggressive posture throughout their game. They're just throwing guys forward, hoping to take advantage of a Michigan miscue. Michigan almost made him pay. Calderon another chance in front of net, but just lifted it high.
Chase Berger unable to win the draw for Penn State, but I got another opportunity to say that glorious name. Nieves tried to deflect a centering attempt to Selman, but Selman couldn't get there. Kyle keeps it in the zone. DeYoung fires a wrister with traffic created by Selman. However, the shot just wouldn't go. Now skating forward with it is Berger. Across to Scheid. Scheid centering attempt, and it's kicked in the direction of Racine, who couldn't cover it up. but he did just enough to deny it from finding the twine. A one-time blast off a rebound, awkwardly caught in the armpit by Racine. Face-off to come in the right wing circle of the Michigan defensive zone. 6:46 left to go in the second period on the Michigan Hockey Sooner Radio Network, WCBN FM, Ann Arbor, Michigan on top of Penn State, 2-1.
Racine not exactly comfortable throughout all of today's game. The initial opportunity for the Nittany Lions, I think it deflected off of Nolan DeYoung and into his pad, which luckily he had down at the time. DeYoung also showing up in a lot of attacking positions today.
Face-off win for the Wolverines as Mott backhands it off the far boards. Up ahead to Connor. Connor skating in with speed at the right wing circle. Spins around, backhander, missed the side netting.
Oh, it hit that side netting, so I thought it was in.
Comfort skates in, backhand, no one home, and Glenn gloves it down. And Penn State able to clear, but Connor just showing you how dangerous he is in the open ice.
God, the audacity to go to the spin move there.
And it nearly paid off for him at that tough angle, but nothing doing. Cutler Martin's pass intercepted by Glenn. Glenn skates in, fires a wrister well wide. Glenn now settling it down behind the Michigan net. Puck dangerous in the centered area, but only white shirts there as Connor leaves the backhand for Mott. Mott splits the defense, left wing circle, shot altered and sent behind the net. Short tried to leave it for Mott. Mott wasn't there for it, and Boca settles it down. Wierenski cross ice pass to Mott, well placed, but Kyle Cotter a bit too ambitious.
I think the refs got this one wrong. It deflected off of Mott's stick and off of the boards. It looked like the puck stayed on the blue line, however, and kind of was not in the zone yet. I think they botched that offside call, but regardless, Michigan needed the CCM line to get out of there as they get a fresh set of legs.
5:43 left to go in the second period. Michigan on top, 2-1. Face-off draw in the neutral zone is won by the Nittany Lions of Penn State University. Puck goes the length of the ice, and Boca settling it down for the Maize and Blue. Leaving it for Wierenski in his own zone. His pass nearly intercepted, gets through a Penn State stick, and now it's on the tape of Shewart. Leaves it for Boca. Boca skating in, gets through the defense, but his shot roofed over the net.
I don't know how this game isn't 3-1 right now.
Your guess is as good as mine. Sheed gaining the zone for Penn State in the right wing circle. Wierenski tried to poke it loose, gloved up out of the air by Saar. Battle for the puck. Seems like there's 30 bodies in this near boards corner, and finally the puck jostles loose. A shot with the intention of getting a rebound off the back end boards is simply settled down by Nick Boca. Ahead to Shewart along the near boards. Shewart's past the length of the ice. Icing waved off as Danks and Audio battling behind the Penn State net. Perico skating into it first, but he couldn't get a clean enough touch on it as he heads to the bench. Marody settling things down ahead to Dexter Danks. And once again, it's cleared away. This time, DeRosa battling with Michael Downing. DeRosa and Downing, and now Danks getting in as well. And it's finally brought loose by Brooks. Backhand ahead to DeRosa, but Downing settles down the puck that DeRosa couldn't hang on to. Now ahead to Dexter Danks. Goodwin skates onto the puck, dispossessing Danks along the near boards in his own defensive zone, and now a three-line pass going the length of the ice. Icing, however, will be waved off as Marsh was the first one there. Now Calderon, 2-on-2. Warren skates in with speed. Left wing circle, centering attempt. Rebound, still loose. DeYoung gets a shot on, but it's covered up by the left leg pad of McAdam, who's done well in replacement of Matthew Scoff. He's given up just one goal. And as you've mentioned, there have been plenty of opportunities. Michigan now with 22 shots to Penn State's 20. They still lead at 2-1 with 3:28 left to go in the second period on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network, WCBN FM, Ann Arbor.
I did not think Brendan Moore was going to do as well as he did on that play. Got absolutely leveled by David Glenn in that left circle as he was taking the shot, but still put it on net, forced McAdam to make a pad save. And Michigan has had opportunity after opportunity. The shot tally is about even for both teams. Michigan 22 shots to Penn State's 20. you look at the stats, you might be under the impression that it's been a pretty evenly matched game, but it certainly feels like Michigan has had opportunities from just inside between the circles in the slot, so many of them, and just has come up begging on a lot of them. .328 to go in this game, and you just get the
in the
sense
second period.
In the second period. Wait, there's three?
There are
this
three
isn't
of
just
them.
a two-half type of deal?
Unfortunately for the Michigan faithful, it is not. 2-1, you mentioned the score in this second period, 3:28 still to play.
Is there any reason you're saying Ricky DeRosa's game DeRosa?
There isn't.
Okay, just checking.
Just having a little fun up here, kid. Alice Kyle backhands it into the boards. Michigan winning the faceoff. Nieves behind the Penn State net. In the left wing circle, leaves it for Cutler Martin. Martin sends it behind the Penn State net. Now Alice Kyle gathers in the loose puck. He sends another shot that ricochets well wide. Nieves skating around behind the net. Backtracks and heads back once again. Breaks, deeks through a defender, and Selman just couldn't get his stick on it to put it home. 2:50 left to go in this second period as the puck goes the length of the ice. Both sides getting fresh legs on. 2-1 the score. Michigan still leading over the 14th ranked Nittany Lions. And offsides the call. Another call that it appears you, Morris, disagree with.
Yeah, but I think my bias is coming into play a little bit on that one. I think Connor's body was across that blue line before he received that pass. What are you pointing out to me, Leo?
Just how well Michigan's done in the face-off circle in this game. Out face-offing the Nittany Lions now. 19-18. Against a usually exceptional Penn State side in the face-off circle is a turnover and a great glove save made by Steve Racine. Tommy Olczyk thought he had the right side top shelf reservation. Steve Racine says, no, sir.
No soup for you, Mr. Olczyk, snatching that one up out of the air. Bad turnover there by Boca. Good pressure by the Nittany Lions. They've been pressuring Michigan's defensemen all night.
The top shelf is cash only, and unfortunately for Tommy Olczyk, he only brought plastic. Face-off win for Penn State, and they're able to keep it in the zone thanks to Eric Audio. Brooks now settling it down. Back to the point, Audio. Now skating onto it is Glenn. Glenn fires a tough angle shot. Rebound loose for Olczyk, and he couldn't hang on to it. Now skating ahead is Tyler Mott. He has Kyle Connor in the center. It's poked away from behind, but Mott still skating in with loads of speed. Connor trying to keep it in the zone with forecheck pressure, unable to do so, but Comfort settles it down. This is the best line in college hockey right here. Comfort. Gates in the left wing circle. Leaves it back for Kyle Connor, but it was intercepted. And now brought forward by Sturts, but Connor able to keep it in the zone before losing his edge. Tyler Mott, the first man there. Comfort for Connor. Not a lot of spacing right now, but finally the Wolverines get some. Left to the point to Downey. Backhands it to keep it in the zone. Mott appears gassed, but he's still fighting out there. Eric Audio, the first man there. Michael Downing settling it. Michigan finally getting a change, but it's taken by Sturts. And a loose puck. Racine finally sees the puck kicked away, but Michael Downing a bit too careless there, and another near disastrous turnover. As continued traffic in front of the Michigan net. Finally, Andrew Sturts getting up, but Racine had to deal with him right in the crease. 1 minute left to go in this second period. Nolan Young's wrister unable to be gloved by McAdams, so the rebound is kept in the Penn State defensive zone. Alex Kyle at the point. Fires a weak shot that doesn't even get near the intended target. Now skating ahead, Booney Evans along the left wing, leaving it for Selman. His pass intercepted. Two Penn State bodies collide with each other as Yuha hits the deck as well. Saar skating ahead now, leaving it for Scheid. Scheid's one-timer is kicked away by Martin. Cross-ice pass, Scheid is denied again. Racine has both posts accounted for at the same time. Lots of traffic, and Racine once again power moving across his crease, and it's cleared from danger. And a penalty coming up here, this time against the boys from Penn State. Zach Sarr, you can sit now for 2.
Yeah, hard to tell what he was going for. Was Sarr maybe in the crease interfering with Steve Racine? There was certainly a lot of traffic in front of the net, but man, Racine certainly came to play today for the Wolverines. He's been matched by McAdam for the most part on the opposite side of the ice, but Racine's improvement throughout the season on full display late here in the second.
Two minutes for roughing, officially the call, much to your chagrin. The second period comes to an end. So Michigan will start the third period with a 2-1 lead and a minute and 53 power play. Morris, your final thoughts on this, the second period of action in a 3-period affair?
It's been a fun one so far. Both sides have come to play, and I'm looking forward to the third.
We'll be back with the third period in a 15-minute intermission on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. 2-1 the score at the end of 2 periods. Here from Yost Ice Arena.
Hello and welcome back to WCBN Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan hockey. Leo, are you ready for this third period?
I'm excited to see how Michigan can hang on. It's a low-scoring affair as it stands 2-1. We've seen time